Canada is a land of vast wilderness, ancient cultures, and deep-rooted stories that have traveled through generations. From the indigenous peoples who have inhabited the land for thousands of years, to European settlers and modern storytellers, the country's folklore is a mosaic of magic, heroism, horror, and mystery. Tenye Legends. The Wendigo, Algonquin legend. The Wendigo is one of the most terrifying and well-known creatures in Canadian folklore. Originating from the Algonquin-speaking Indigenous peoples, the Wendigo is a malevolent spirit associated with the harsh winter, starvation, and cannibalism. Described as a gaunt, skeletal creature with glowing eyes, sharp claws, and a heart made of ice, the Wendigo is said to possess humans, driving them to commit acts of unspeakable horror. It often symbolizes insatiable greed, loss of humanity, and the destructive forces of nature. Even today, the Wendigo appears in horror fiction, films, and video games, keeping this legend alive in Canadian pop culture. Two legends. Nanabojo, the Great Trickster. Ojibwe legend. In Ojibwe mythology, Nanabojo is a cultural hero, a trickster, a teacher, and a creator. He is one of the most important figures in Anishinaabe oral tradition. According to legend, Nanabojo helped shape the earth after a great flood. He tricked evil spirits, brought fire to humans, and taught people how to live in harmony with nature. Though he often acts foolishly or selfishly, his actions usually lead to greater good or learning. He represents balance, dual nature, trickster and teacher, and the importance of storytelling in preserving cultural knowledge. Three legends. The ghost of Marie-Joseph Corriveau, La Corriveau. One of Quebec's most chilling legends, La Corriveau was a woman executed in 1763 for murdering her husband. According to folklore, she didn't stop tormenting the living after her death. Legend says that her body was placed in an iron cage and hung from a tree as a warning to others. But locals reported seeing her ghost wandering the roads at night, terrifying travelers. In truth, the historical facts are murky. Marie-Joseph was real, but the legend transformed her into a vengeful spirit and a symbol of injustice and fear in old French Canada. Four legends. The lost gold of Oak Island. For over 2 centuries, people have searched for buried treasure on Oak Island, off the coast of Nova Scotia. The legend began in 1795, when a boy found a mysterious depression in the ground beneath a tree with a block and tackle. As teams dug deeper, they uncovered layers of logs and strange artifacts. Rumors spread. Pirate treasure, the Holy Grail, even Shakespeare's lost manuscripts might be hidden there. Despite countless digs, booby traps, and millions of dollars spent, no treasure has ever been found. Oak Island remains one of Canada's greatest unsolved mysteries, and a symbol of obsession, hope, and curiosity. 5 legends. Glooscap, the creator of the Wabanaki people. Glooscap is a legendary hero and creator figure in Mi'kmaq, Maliseet, and Passamaquoddy traditions, collectively known as the Wabanaki peoples. According to legend, Glooscap was created by the Great Spirit and brought order to the world. He shaped the land, tamed monsters, created animals, and taught the people how to live. He was kind and powerful, but also had a sense of humor and mischief. Glooskap is still revered in eastern Canada as a figure of wisdom, strength, and harmony with the natural world. His stories teach respect for nature and humility in the face of life's mysteries. 6 legends. The Legend of the Flying Canoe, La Chasse Galerie. This French-Canadian folk tale is one of the most enduring from Quebec. It tells of a group of lonely lumberjacks who, on New Year's Eve, made a pact with the devil to ride a flying canoe back to their village to see their loved ones. The men must follow strict rules. No saying God's name, no touching crosses, and no drinking alcohol. But inevitably, someone breaks the rules, and the canoe begins spiraling out of control, sometimes crashing or disappearing entirely. This tale mixes Catholic fears with early French-Canadian storytelling and serves as a moral lesson about temptation, faith, and the consequences of making deals with dark forces. 7 legends. The Ogopogo, Lake Okanagan's serpent. Often called Canada's Loch Ness Monster, the Ogopogo is said to dwell in Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. The creature is described as a long, serpent-like beast, sometimes up to 50 feet in length. First Nations people have told stories of a lake demon named Na-Yitk for generations, believed to require sacrifices to allow safe crossing. European settlers adapted this into the modern Ogopogo myth. Despite numerous reported sightings, photos, and videos, no physical evidence exists. Still, Ogopogo lives on as a symbol of Canada's wild nature and the enduring mystery of the deep. The White Lady of Montmorency Falls. Just outside Quebec City, the Montmorency Falls are not only beautiful, but haunted, at least according to legend. During the 7 Years' War, a young woman named Mathilde lost her fiancé, a French soldier, in battle. In grief, she donned her wedding dress and jumped from the top of the falls to her death. Visitors claim to have seen a ghostly woman in white roaming the cliffs or appearing in the mist of the waterfall. Known as the White Lady, her ghost is a tragic reminder of love lost in war and one of Canada's most romantic and haunting stories. Sasquatch, Canada's wild man. Though most famous in American folklore, Sasquatch has deep roots in Canadian Indigenous tradition, particularly among the Stele people of British Columbia. Described as a tall, hairy humanoid, Sasquatch is said to roam the forest, rarely seen but often heard. Modern sightings have occurred all across Canada's wilderness, especially in BC. While skeptics dismiss it as myth, others believe Sasquatch could be a surviving hominid or a spiritual being. The legend reflects Canadians' deep connection with the forest and their respect for the unseen forces of nature. 1 Legends, the haunted Fairmont Hotels. Canada's grand railway hotels, built during the 19th and early 20th centuries, are more than just architectural wonders. They are also hotbeds of ghost stories. The Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta is said to be haunted by the ghost of a bride who died on her wedding day. The Fairmont Chateau Laurier in Ottawa is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of Charles Melville Hayes, who died on the Titanic shortly before the hotel opened. The Fairmont Empress in Victoria, BC has its share of ghostly guests, including a maid and a construction worker. These luxurious buildings, once playgrounds of the elite, now host more than tourists. They keep alive Canada's love for haunted history and elegant mystery. From First Nations mythologies to French-Canadian ghost stories and wilderness mysteries, Canadian legends reveal a nation deeply connected to land, spirit, and imagination. These tales endure not just because they entertain, but because they teach lessons, preserve culture, and explain the inexplicable. Whether you believe in them or not, they form an essential part of Canada's identity. So the next time you walk through a pine forest, sit by a lake, or explore a historic site, listen closely. The wind may carry whispers from the past. A legend may be waiting to be heard.